When we were covering our functions, at that point I mentioned that we will be making use of JSON web tokens, and using this we were basically identifying whether the logged in user is the authenticated one or not. So here you can see we were getting this email in the email collection, and we were then identifying whether that's correct or not. If not, then we were simply returning cannot access other users' data. So how this was being possible is in our user flows, we have to go to application claims, and there you can see we have our email address selected. So this is something which is returned when a user successfully authenticates using the B2C authentication user flow, and this collection is then returned to us, and that is what we are consuming in this function. This approach ensures that our functions are also authorized using JSON web token. Now we have talked about authorization, that is when we are inside a function we are authorizing whether the correct user is updating its data or not. But also we have to take care of one more thing, that is these functions do have their own URLs, and someone can access this function directly using those URLs if they are aware of it. And what we want to do now is that we want to restrict them, we want to authenticate them as well, so that we know that it is going through a proper channel, that is the requests are being authorized. In order to do that, what we need to do is whenever we are defining a function, the authorization level needs to be set to function. Remember, when we were creating our APIs using function app, at that point in time, this API created this named value pair called did you apply function app dash key. So this was the name of our function app, and then this dash key has a hidden value. Now this value that you see over here is exactly the same when you go over here in your function app, and under app keys if you see host keys, and here you have the name of your API service. For example, this one I'm referring to right now, API m-did you apply service. So the value that you have over here is the same value that is stored over here in API. So whenever you are setting the authorization level to function, this named value pair or this API did you apply service key will be used to authenticate the request. To see this in action, all you need to do is just go to a function and click on code plus test. Here you will get this link called get function URL. When you click on this, you can select this API m did you apply service API and then copy this URL. So once you do that, you see this is the value being passed. So that's how we can secure our function access as well, by setting the authorization level to function.